Nope, we're not there yet. Yep, we're there.
There we go. Welcome everybody to another episode of Pages from Rock Bottom. I'm Matt.
I'm Kim, and tonight we are joined with Zach, or by Zach, I should say. And tonight is Grace After the Needle, Zach's story of surrender and redemption. How are you doing, Zach?
Woo, doing really good. It's been a good couple of days. Life has not been so easy lately, and so I'm grateful to get a couple good ones in a row.
Ooh, so tell us where you're from and where you came from.
Well, so
Or
I'm
how you got
from
here, I should say.
how I got here. Well,
Yeah.
well, my mom and my dad loved each other very much,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so I'm originally from Pike County. All my family is basically my original family is from here. So I'm a Piketon Beaver kid. That's where it's where I ran around. So eventually where we went back and bought a house, and so we lived there and got our kids in the same school we went to, and so it's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
I
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
Beaver too.
Huh? Yeah, you did?
Yeah, I did. I did. We're from the same places.
My gosh, there's only like 300 people that live there, so the odds of that's pretty low.
I know. Is there a stoplight? There is one. In there, one
There's
stoplight.
two. They have one.
Two.
They have two. They have one more than Piketon. I think the only reason they keep it there is to have one more than Piketon.
That makes
Because
sense. That makes sense.
there's
That
no
really
need
does
for
make
it.
sense.
Yeah, there's no need
Yeah.
for it. It's by the funeral home. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe. Not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Beaver. So very small town, very rural. Uh, that, and then being a small kid, a small town kid. We did move to the city. I moved to Los Angeles when I was, young, and
Ooh.
yeah, and
You've
then
been there,
Heather.
ain't you?
Yep.
Yeah, we've talked about that. Yeah. I've been. So I did that for a while, and Heather and I moved to Cincinnati, which is, jeez, geez, that was a mess, but may live through that one, lived through that,
You
and
could live through that.
lived through that, and so yeah, and by the grace of God, for real, lived through that. That was a terrible part of my, that was one of the hardest parts of my story is right there, for real. We were in a battle every single day, living in the belly of the beast.
Oh yeah. I remember. I met you guys in addiction. I was in active addiction when I first met both you guys.
Yeah,
And man, whew, ain't none of us weighed but 5 pounds. You know what I mean?
I guarantee it.
I know it.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling Matt. Like I met them both, and we were all in addiction. We were all in full blown, just we were messing it up, and I was like, ain't none of us weighed very much. You know what I mean? None of us.
Oh no,
Tiny,
no,
tiny
no.
little people. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
how many? Tell us how many years you have now of sobriety.
Well, by the grace of God, I have a little over 6 years since yeah. Well, you know what? And it gets easier with every day that passes. Like I see my people, and like I see people on meth, and I see them strung out, and I have like, it for me that part gets easier. Like because there's nothing to go back to. There's nothing
Yeah.
to go back to. So September the 18th of 2019
Oh,
was the last time yeah, that was September the 17th was the last time I used a needle, and I put my one good day in between was like, I'm just gonna snort the meth today and
Yeah.
heroin. I'm not gonna shoot it, so I'm doing better. I was like, yeah, that was my titrate. uh
oh, it's your way of thinking. Rebecca said, "Hello, guys, I'm watching," and she said, "Congratulations, Zach."
Yeah, tell her I said, hey, Becca. Yeah, she's
She
cool
said, "Hey,
people.
Becky."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. No, I mean, it's just we all got a story. Mine's pretty wild. Like I've got a lot of angels or something, or
Yeah.
something. I must be a cat because I got 9 lives or something.
Probably more. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Probably more realistically, because
yeah, probably more. Oh yeah, it's a low ball for God, isn't it? It's like, just 9. I saved you many more times than that. You're right. You're right.
God's like, I got you. It's not your time, Zach. It's not your time. So
Yeah.
what was going through your mind the day you decided to surrender, put down the needle, give up drugs, and want to change your life?
Well, so um, my fiance and love of my life had been in treatment for approximately about a week. She had been there for a week before I went, and I was
Yeah.
supposed to go. Well, I was supposed to go on a Monday, right? And I just had to get one more in me, and
Oof.
I just
Yeah.
had to get one more in me, and then lo and behold, that one more turned into a whole another week because it just, and then the shame and the guilt was just weighing me down, right? And my kids were they were in the foster care system, and it took a lot of humility because I had to face the shame. So,
Mm.
what basically what happened was I went to a court hearing for our kids because they were wards of the state, and I basically was given an ultimatum. If do you want to be in your kids' life or not, and if you do, then you're going to have to do this. And so you have to I had to go get an alcohol and drug assessment. Well, I made sure to let them know that I could do outpatient. I'm a 45-day kind of guy. I want to get this. And I'll never forget getting told it's going to be fine. If you do great, you can graduate in like 45 days, 60 tops, which was all a big fib. And it got me to sign the papers. And then, yeah.
Yeah.
And then once I got in there, I was done. I was at their mercy. That was but I really did not surrender, because I was still just doing that for them. Still just
Yep.
doing that for them at the cause, right? I was still just doing that for them until a month goes by. A month goes by. Well, let me stop. There was something that happened. It was pretty magical. Um, so I got saved on October the 8th of 2019, which is the same day that Heather got saved at a separate place without me even knowing about it or anything. Like,
Well,
super weird. Like, what's the odds of that?
that's Jesus
That's
for sure.
Jesus for
Yes.
working, right? And anyway, I got a visit with my kids, and it lasted for a couple hours, and then I had to put my kids back in the car to leave, and they're screaming and they're crying. I want to stay with my dad. I want to stay with my dad. And then I started crying Niagara Falls because like I had never really understood or felt their pain of what they went through. But I know how much it hurt me that day to have to put them in the car because of my actions and know that they had to
Yeah.
go elsewhere because of what I did. And that was because I don't want to go through that kind of pain again. That was painful for me, let alone them. And I said, I'll never put my kids through that again, ever, ever again, or myself. And so that's just kind of been my thing. Like, like I made my kids suffer quite a bit in active addiction. They were neglected and they were not nearly as important as dope. And
I feel that. I
they were
feel that.
not.
Like same. You know what I mean? My
Yeah,
daughter, she still, and Tiffany, she still won't talk to me to this day, and she's got her own, her own baby and everything. And like,
really.
no matter how good I'm doing, like she just
Well,
absolutely is not ready for that yet. You know what I mean? And
I do know what you mean. I do know what you
so,
mean.
but those are, Sean said, "What up, guys?" But those are the consequences of our actions because we put dope ahead of everything else. Everything.
Everything else, I promise you. Yeah, the door was shut on everything else but that. That was the only thing that I had open door for. It was that at one point for sure. It was sickening, but that. But that's all for right. That's all for a reason, right?
Absolutely.
It
So,
is.
what
It
were
is.
some of the biggest challenges you faced in early recovery?
Biggest challenges I faced in early recovery. Well, one of the biggest challenges for me was knowing not knowing what to do and trying to figure out what to do with my life as an adult. That was a big challenge, because I had done construction work, and that was what I knew. But obviously, that was probably not a good fit for me because uh, that came along with pain pills and drinking and the whole thing, and I had a counselor, Justin, I'll name drop it, Justin Knable, who
Yeah.
who who
There's that
who
name again. There's
yeah,
that name again.
yeah, well, he's,
Yeah.
rightfully, hopefully it was for good reason. Well, he told me, he's like, why don't you pull your head out of your ass and stop being selfish, and maybe you could help a lot of people if you would just you know do this instead of trying to like scatter your brain about all these other things that you could be doing, when this is right here for you. It's what This is what this is what you're purposed for, and I was like, oh gosh, but I didn't even think about working in treatment for the first 4 or 5 months at least. I was like halfway. I was deep into transitional until they finally was like, you probably should give us a go, because I just wanted it done. I just wanted it done, because I still wasn't ready, I guess, in that mindset. But I completed 16 months of treatment. I completed from in the door to the paperwork. It took me 16 months, and I probably needed every day of it.
Yeah, for sure.
I probably needed every day of it, truly, because I mean, I haven't had to go back since. So,
Yeah.
so I think I needed every day of it. But yeah, that Knable thing, that was a big challenge. Like knowing and what, and then learning how to be a dad. I wasn't a dad, you know what I mean? Like I fed him some food and put him to, you know what I mean? But I wasn't a dad.
Yeah.
And so getting to be and learning how to be a dad, that was a big challenge. And then it's not like it's just me. It's like it's me and Heather, my fiance. We've been together for 16 years, and like
Yeah.
and almost all of that, other than when we had to be like clean for screens for CPS. Other than that, like we didn't have any clean time other than whatever that was, and
Yeah.
throughout the years. And so getting like that was a big hurdle. Like we had to like fall in love with each other again, and get to know
Mm.
each other sober, and that was a huge challenge. I mean, it wasn't that challenging, but it was a big deal, because like, all right, now what? you know
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm sober now, what? Do you still like
Yeah.
me? Yeah.
Well, Shanna and them said, "Look at that perfect hair on Brother Zach," and then Heather said, "Your fiance said on point," and then she said, "Probably not," or not probably. I think she was talking about when he said he was learning to be a father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learning to be a father, yeah, still learning to be a father.
Still figuring. Yes, Heather,
I'm
definitely.
not
I'm
ready to
still
write the
figuring.
book yet, guys. Not
Yeah.
ready to write the book on it yet.
Yeah, I
We're
feel
learning.
that.
Yeah, learning.
I still struggle with learning, like trying to figure out how to be a parent, because it's hard. It's really hard, and sometimes I feel like I'm not good at it, and I'll be like, man, I'm not built for this. I'm not meant to be a mom. You know what I mean? And I feel that.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like I do that to myself all the time. But
Well,
do not take notes from me, because
well, I don't know about that. I'm just not. I just know that. I just know I'm gonna try not to do, like I said. Like I'm not gonna try. My goal is not to be like perfect parent. My goal is to be able to be the parent that
they deserve.
they can
Yeah.
come to, and they can talk to, and hopefully that's, I'm setting them up for that now by being consistent, stable, and
There it is.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's what that stability. I never had stability growing up as a kid, you know what I mean? And so
Me
you
neither.
can't teach something you don't have. You have to you have to kind of develop it. And and I'm still learning how to be an adult, you know.
Yeah,
St-
absolutely.
Still learning how to be an adult, you know what I mean? I
Same.
make
I didn't
I
even
make
begin to grow
childish
up until I was
decisions.
26. Yeah.
Yeah, it's never too
Yeah.
late.
No, absolutely not. And adulting sucks sometimes, but it's probably one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not just talking shit when I say that. I mean that realistically.
Oh,
'Cause,
that's
like,
a huge accomplishment.
yeah, yeah.
Being able to case manage your own life and the lives of other people. Are you serious? That's like I can't even, you know,
That's
what?
real. Um,
Yeah. That's why I prefer counseling.
How'd you rebuild trust with your family and with yourself?
So that's man, that's a heavy, heavy question. Um I'll answer to the family part first, right? Um, so some of my family were very accepting and very understanding and very loving and forgiving, right? And they opened their arms back up to me. And so my grandmother, I got to be by her side, sober, clean and sober. You know, when she passed. I got to pray with her. I actually got to sit at the table with my grandma, who was not a believer, and pray with her. And she gave her life to Jesus in front of me on a Friday. And she had COVID, and they put her in a hospital, and she died on Monday. But the last day that I had with her was me and her at the table eating strawberries together, and I said, "Can I pray with you?" And she started to cry, and she said yes. And that was something special right there. And then, you know, I lost my great grandmother, but again, with both grandmas, like they got to see me, like not be a mess out there, worried to
yes.
death about what I'm doing, running a gun. And then I got half of my family who I still have an aunt who won't talk to me to this day. She still can. She basically is like, good luck in life, but I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
hurts, man. That's a painful, or you like, what? Like, I don't, but, and then I have another aunt who she reminded me, she's like, listen, not unless people understand that they need forgiveness, they're not going to be quick to forgive.
Mm.
Mm, that's good. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Unless somebody understands they need forgiveness, then they're not going to be quick to forgive. And that made them, that has helped me. Like that thing's helped me. Cause she's not a Christian, nor she believe in any higher power than herself, as far as I know of. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I don't know. Her actions tell me otherwise, but so that's hard. And I'm dealing with the family thing of like, I got uncles who was like, well, I got uncles, my uncle who was like, well, you needed that, good for you. But like most of them has been like, great. This is great. This is wonderful. My aunt Chrissy and my cousin April took our kids in. I quit vaping, and
Are
I'm
you
using
chewing?
I'm doing these pouch thingies, and not get a
Same.
sponsored ad for that, but
Matt said
um,
same. He
Same.
did.
you did the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Yeah.
doing. He'll chew or he'll do the nicotine pouches.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Off the vape, man.
You
Um,
get the hiccups?
yes. And
Oh Lord.
heartburn. And heartburn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hiccups and heartburn. Yeah. But I'll trade that off. That's got to be still better than whatever that was I'm putting in my lungs.
Yeah.
Still got to be better than that. Um, so so family's 50-50. We're all cool. Like my mom doesn't have to like deadbolt her door anymore. That's cool.
Mm,
Like she doesn't have to put like a real lock on it anymore. That's
yeah.
good. Um, and that was just, I couldn't even go there to shower. Like, what I mean? Like, we just don't want your drama. We don't want your drama here. It's pitiful. But forgiving myself, man, that's an ongoing process. I think I've forgiven myself all the way until something comes along. It reminds me that there's still something missing. Like
Mm,
like the other day I got to go out and trust myself. Like as you're saying, trust yourself. Um, I got to go out and visit with my grandpa before he passed away. And they didn't want me there. They was worried I'd steal something or whatever from him. And um, but anyway, once upon a time I had stolen my grandfather's axe, allegedly, or whatever. I took it,
mm,
and I took it. And my aunt held that against me. But I told my grandpa, I was like, Grandpa, I did that. And I said, what you know? And he's like, that's all right. He's like, I ain't worried about that. And I got to make amends to him. And that was the last time I got to see
mm.
him, actually. Because I hadn't built up the courage inside enough to even say that to him yet. But I did. And that was the last time I got to speak with him. And so I feel like God put that right on my heart, right on time for that, to be able to at least put that out there, like, because, but I don't, I don't think I should have to pay for that for the rest of my life, like with the way my aunt looks at it. But trusting myself's hard, dude. I had a surgery. Um, this is a funny story in a way. I had a surgery, reconstructive nasal surgery, about, like, I don't know, like 1 year in, and they prescribed me 20 Percocets for this, right? And it was devastating. It was hardcore, and I can remember Heather being like, "Oh my God, like, what are we going?" She was like, "You either you either flush them, or right now take your, or whatever." Like, she had a fit. And her sponsor, who had a lot of wisdom, said, "Well, when they're gone, and let's see what happens." And when they was gone, they were gone, and that's it. I didn't go. So that helped me be like, all right, I'm just like, I can do this a little bit. I can do this. I didn't have to go. I didn't go chase down the next doctor for the next script. And it really didn't even tickle that itch. Like, it really didn't, because I was like, all right, cool. I mean, I got through it. I don't know if I took all of them. I think I took 16 out of 20 is what I took. Um, but that was my, like one chance early on. Like, well, are you gonna go back out and get a little tickle of that? And I was like, nah.
Yeah.
And um, trusting myself, it's hard, because I'm my own worst enemy. The right
Oh,
up here.
yes.
I can justify it, and I can, all that, and early recovery. I did do that. There was a, I got busted on my sideways thinking. I had to get told about myself, and I think that needs to happen occasionally. Every once
Oh,
in a while, you
absolutely.
think you gotta get told about yourself. Think
Get knocked off
you
that
know,
little pink cloud.
yes, think you got this.
Yeah.
And the truth is, you ain't never got this. I heard somebody say,
No,
yeah, I can say I got this whenever like I'm in the casket, and they're, like, and you die sober or
I
whatever,
made
then
it.
you go,
Yes, I
then you
made it.
made it, but you don't
Yeah.
got this. Yeah, you made
No,
it, but you don't got it. Yeah.
absolutely
So
not.
that's pretty much the motto. I know I'm not a perfect person, and like I said, I'm trying to vape. We got all these vices. I'm trying to beat gambling's my thing. Like, I have to beat that addiction, because addiction comes in so many forms.
It does. It does.
It's not, it comes in so many forms, man. And I've
It
got to
does.
be very vigilant on that, but I've been doing good with it lately. And then, but there's always something. I mean, just because you ain't getting high on something, don't mean you ain't getting high on something. You can get high in it, chasing something else. Like, I mean, chasing
Absolutely.
dollars. That's greed, is what that amounts to for me. Is what I'm like, man, it's a tax on the poor, really, because I can't afford to be gambling. But,
Yeah.
but like Heather said, thinking that because we got everything you need right underneath the house. It's all provided for. I don't need to. God's never going to bless me through a gambling. Never.
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah.
there for a minute I thought he might, but she's
Yeah.
she's right. He is not. He's not. So that's been my thing. I'm working on that, like, right now. That's my biggest thing. Beating the drugs is only half the battle.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny because that you said that you weren't perfect, because I remember when I first asked you if you wanted to come on and talk to us, and in your message you said to us that he's like, I'm far from perfect, and that's okay. And one of the questions was, what does that mean to you today? And you already answered that, and I didn't even have to ask you.
Well, it's the truth,
But
like, I
no,
mean,
we are definitely not perfect, huh?
no, that's the truth. Yeah, it is weird. I did send that. Yeah, like, I was like, well,
Yeah,
why are you
you
choosing
did.
me
You said
for?
I'm far from, and that was one of the questions. What I was going to ask you, what does that mean to you? And you done answered it. It was the next question I was going to ask you.
Oh, well, how about that? We're in alignment.
So, how do you use your story today to help others who feel helpless or hopeless? Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Well, I get to do that. I get to do that all the time, right? I got to do that. I got to do that earlier with it. So there's a guy that last year when I met him, he was using meth every day. Um, he ended up spending some time in jail. He got back out of jail. Right now we spend more time together. And I've watched this person through, and like he knows my story, and I've got to watch them grow and go from being like you said, that one don't weigh 10 pounds person to
Yeah.
a better person, and and whatever little tidbits I got to give along the way, like he picks up on. I don't know. I never pass up on an opportunity to be vulnerable
Mm.
with people. You know what I mean? Because that's you. A lot of times people are like not wanting to be vulnerable, because it's not in our nature. So I'll be vulnerable with people so that they'll be vulnerable with me, so that we could start to get to the root of some things. That way there's a trust build, and like, hey, some stuff about me. And so hopefully, and then that seems to work. I just try to be authentic and just be myself, and that's how I think I get to help other people, is by being authentic, or just being, just like genuine as much as I can, because I genuinely do not want to see anybody put in that kind of like, especially when it's preventable. It's preventable. Because
Yeah.
you can make a choice any moment. You can make a choice to choose differently, and I don't know. You just help. I don't know. It's weird. I think you just help people by just kind of like by the way you live and the way you act and the way you move, right? Like the way that the
That
way you go about
inspiration.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way to help people, is by doing that. You kind of show them like, all right, you know this is possible, especially for like anybody that's known me for any length of time in addiction would never have ever guessed. I don't think that I would be in a place where I am now, where beyond blessed, and I've been beyond
Yeah.
blessed since the get go, since the right off the rip. Been blessed. We didn't have a home to go to, guys. Like when we were in when we were in transitional, um, there was so much uncertainty about what to do and where to go, and God provided a transitional family unit for us. A family unit that wasn't even a thing.
Oh
That
yeah,
didn't
I
even
remember. Yeah.
it didn't even exist until we went to treatment. If I'd have went there a week later, a week sooner, who knows? But right on time. Went there right on time to get that
Yeah.
blessing, and avoid all the pitfalls of having to go out there and try to do it on your own, so to speak. I mean, we had that support, and
Yeah.
that support was huge, especially in the beginning, because like, what I mean? Like a baby needs help, what I mean? Like when you're early recovery, you need help. You might not want to admit it all the time, but I can remember that sigh
Yeah.
of relief. Like, are you kidding me? You're gonna let me and her stay together in an apartment? Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
crazy. But
This can't be happening. I
yeah,
remember. Yeah,
that's
wasn't it up there transitional for recovery council? The one up there, sober living.
yeah.
On top of the hill.
Yeah.
We were at the we got the little apartments down there by Adina, across the hill. It's really nice. It
Yep.
was a blessing. Uh, who knows where we would be if it wasn't for that, so it takes a village. It definitely has taken a village, like, to get us to where we are now. Oh my gosh. I've had so much utilizing support, like, what I mean, resources in the community. Like, that's a real thing. I mean, you got to do that stuff. You got to do that stuff. We had to, in the past, we never even did that stuff. We let bills go out. I mean, we'd get a daggone disconnect notice on something that's free.
It would be like some of us and be like, man, when they shut it off, we're just gonna go right back to the pool and turn it back on.
I mean, I'm like, but how do you even let it get shut
Allegedly.
off when it's $10 a month? How do you do that? You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
staying back.
Yeah.
I used to I would justify it because they wouldn't spell my name right.
Oh
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
so you wasn't going to be liable for the bill, was you?
Yeah, like that person don't
That's
even
not
exist.
me. Who's this guy? I spelled mine with an E.
Yeah, yeah. Well, got him.
Yeah,
They
it still
got
takes
him.
a village. Heather said it still takes a village. Yes, it
It
does,
still
Heather.
takes a
Yes, it
village. Yeah,
does.
yeah. It still does
Rebecca
for sure.
said, I need help every day. Me too, me too, Becky. Me too. I think we all need help every day, whether it's somebody to talk to or just a vent or bitch about work or it's always something. You know what I mean?
Well,
So, what
yeah.
emotions? I'm real curious about this question. What emotions hit you the hardest when you finally stopped running from your demons, like from who you used to be? Well, I mean,
Um.
yeah, from who
Well,
you used to be.
what Well, like so,
What emotion?
I was very sad to realize that I woke up a 34-year-old man. That was a It was made me pretty sad to realize that I woke up a 34-year-old man that was like, a baby, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, and not like, so I felt I had a lot of insecurity,
Yeah,
because of the like lack of life skills that I had, which was like not many, and like it's not really an emotion, but that, like I said, that shame and that guilt, like it took me a while to like to shake that off. It took me a while to shake that off. Like it took me a good while, because like I played the, well, I should have never done that. Why did I played that woulda coulda
no.
shoulda game with
Why did
myself.
I do that? Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
devil right there coming to get you. And dealing with the emotions of, and then being in a relationship, uh just being able to show emotions, because guess what, I didn't show emotions. I was cold-hearted and calloused, and that's a fact. And like, I was always pleasant with people, but like, but deep down, like, I built this wall up, this big, seriously, like a tower around my heart, like, and I just wouldn't let anybody in. And it was a brick by brick process to take that down, for real, because I just, I always felt like I could have been, should have been so much more, and it took me a little while to like gain acceptance and love for the new beginning I got. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. There was times whenever I was like down on myself, because like, what, and and this is in recovery, like, I should be here instead of here. I should be here instead. I still think that
Yeah.
way. I should be at this place instead of, and dealing with emotions are really, really hard. I've had panic attacks because I've just become so overcome with anxiety of life, and like
Oh, yeah.
work stress. I've never worked a real job, like a real job, not one you had to go to every week at the same time for, you,
9 to 5?
yeah,
What?
you
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like, and I can remember like having an absolute like real anxiety attack over that. Like, oh my God, I was in there like, there's so much work to do. And like, I'm just one person. And like, I had to go to the hospital as my heart was pounding. And
yeah.
yeah, I mean,
I've
I don't
been there.
know.
I've been there. Not like that, but I've been there. Now I just bake, Zach. I bake and
Now you just
cook
vape,
food.
pray and vape.
I don't, no, I
Well,
don't smoke. I don't do anything. I quit doing all that
oh,
stuff. I said I
oh, it's
just bake
amazing. You just
and I
pray
make
and go
food.
on, huh? Okay, right on. I mean, I'm
Oh,
I'm an overthinker. When that's for sure.
yeah.
I'm an overthinker and underdoer. If I
Oh,
could just if I could just do as much so, but I'll tell you what, I didn't get a hit on this. So like, this last month has been so hard on me. Like, when you asked me to speak, I was like, this is the worst time ever anyone could ask me to do anything, because literally I had taken um bereavement, from
yeah.
after losing my grandpa. But I had just had my hand broken and had been in a cast for a month, and which was very depressing because I couldn't golf, I couldn't fish, I couldn't do anything that I enjoyed. I couldn't even do the dishes at home. You know what I mean? I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And so it made me feel like less of a person. And then I got hit with my grandpa passing away. And then now Heather's dad is in the ICU. And like, I don't know. And I'm feeling like you never know, like now I just have my mom, like yeah, all my grandparents are all passed away, and like so that's been a really like heavy couple weeks, you know what I mean, just really coming to grips with the fact that like all right, you know, all of these people that I grew up with are gone, they're all gone. And it's just it's
That's
surreal,
hard.
man. Yes, and you know, and my grandpa was like, you know, he was a real big deal to me. And losing him the way I lost him sucked because, you know, because of my addiction, the things I did in my addiction, I wasn't allowed to be around him as an adult, you know, very often, and was you know, kind of got, I felt cheated out of the opportunity to go up and see him because certain people didn't want me there because of my past, you know. In the past,
Yep.
people need to realize, like, you know, what's in the past really doesn't matter. Like, you know, it's all about what you're doing today. It really is. Like, I mean, I get it, holding on to something, like being like cautious for a while around
Yeah.
somebody, because like that's fair, cautious. But you know, I know one thing, it's opened my heart up. Like, I'm gonna love people. I'm just gonna love people. Like I, because I've did a lot of praying the last 2 weeks, and I've had a lot of time, like I said, alone. I took, because I had that bereavement and I stayed off work, you know, and I had a lot of time to, I prayed, I watched all kinds of like uh, near death experience videos because I was worried about my grandpa and what he went through, you know what I mean? Like what he
Yeah.
was he going through. And like, and I got all these reassurances about heaven, and I was like, so, and it strengthened my faith again. And you know, there's a reason I didn't go. I needed to remember my grandpa just the way I seen him right there on the chair talking to him. You know, that's the
Oh,
way I needed to
yeah.
remember him. And so this has been, so I almost said no. I almost said no. But anytime somebody asks you to do anything that's like selfless, you should definitely do it. You definitely do it. So I had to say yes, but like a part of me wanted to say no out of self pity, you know, self pity and feeling
Yeah.
sorry for
But
myself.
we
And plus, like,
appreciate you
what do I have to offer?
sharing
You know, that was part of my
all
story. Like,
kinds.
what do I have to offer? What do I have to offer anybody? Like right now, like I'm in pitiful shape. I can't even take care of myself. Like, you know, um,
Yeah.
you know, wasn't like really serious depression. Like Heather was really worried about me too. She's like, "Do I have to worry about you doing other drugs? Are you going to be out there?" You know what I mean? I take nerve medication for my nerves, and that's fine. I don't give a crap. My doctor prescribes that to me, and we're good on that. But me and God
Right.
have an understanding. We're like, that's fine with me. But she was that worried because I was so lost and in my head. And I was like, Heather, like, I promise you that if there's one thing I can promise you, is like, that's not what I'm gonna do. Like, it's just, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this, but I'm gonna find a way to get through it. And slowly but surely, I'm pulling my way out of it, you know. And I've had some help. I've had a family member that reached out to me, and she talked to me for a while, and that helped. And just, and of course I've got friends. My work family is amazing. Where I work is just full of good people. They're just, you know, I can't say enough good things about them, because like I'll go in and bleh, all this stuff on onto my supervisor, who's probably like, oh my gosh, this guy's life is you know,
You're
he's
a mess. And it's
yeah, he's a
okay, but it's
mess.
okay. And that cliche saying, it's okay not to be okay. That's real. You know what I mean? It's okay
Yeah,
that
it's
you're not
okay.
okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
is. And don't forget that you're human. You were human then, you're human now. And the best thing that you can do for yourself is allow yourself to feel and work through it. Like you're surviving right now, right? You know what I mean? And
yeah.
you're on here and you're talking to us and you're sharing every bit about like what you're going through and how you're feeling. Don't give up on yourself, man. Like depression sucks. I know that. You know what I mean, firsthand. And like losing somebody, that sucks too. I wasn't there. I wasn't there for my mom when she needed me the most either, when I was in active addiction when she passed.
Mm,
I didn't even go to her funeral. You know what I mean? I, lost myself in a spoon and a needle in the bathroom instead of going
Yeah,
to, say my final goodbyes to her. So like,
I
just
totally
know
understand
that
that.
they're down. Yeah, they're up there looking down on us right now, proud of who we are today and what we are
Yeah,
and what we're doing. Right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
don't. So if you really want to ask yourself what you have to offer people, to offer, you're telling your story, and that's inspiring somebody right now.
I
If
hope
having
so.
that courage to get on here and tell people like, man, I'm struggling. You know what
I
I mean?
promise you, I have
So,
had a. This has been since we've been in recovery, other than a situation that happened with our kids, other than something that has to do with them, this is the hardest thing by far that I've had to go through. Um, because, like I said, with my grandmas, we loved each other. I loved them. They loved me. We love, I mean, it was time for them to go, and
right.
I get it, and and but my family, this side reminds me of the you're a drug addict, piece of shit, no good for nothing, won't ever change. That's the
Yeah.
that's the messaging. And sorry for
Yeah.
cussing. I try not to,
No, it's
but
okay.
well, I try
No,
not
it's
to
okay.
cuss too much anyway. But that was that's pretty much verbatim the way it goes. And man, when you get treated like that, part of you wants to have those kind of same old thinking. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
I wanted to like wish ill on her, like what I mean? Like how dare you, and like I caught myself like going down that rabbit hole of like wishing ill on someone else, and that's terrible. That's not like Jesus at all. You know what I mean? Like, and I just need
No,
to
you're human.
give it to God and stop worrying about it. You know
Yeah.
and stop worrying about it because it's a whatever. Grandpa's up here in heaven. He ain't worried about it no more. He ain't worried about it. He's fine, and he's in a better place. But getting along with people that don't like you is hard.
It is.
But
Absolutely.
It is. But sometimes we have to realize that it's not a us problem; it's a them problem. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's been
Um,
really hard. That's been a thing for me. It's like I still feel like
yeah.
I'm holding on to it's a me problem. Yeah, it's not
It,
really.
yeah,
It's
but it's a them problem. If they don't like you, that's a them problem. It sounds like they got some you problems all the way around. You know what I mean? Because you should be proud of the person that you've grown into and the person that you're continuing to grow into. If
I thought, hey,
they don't
what's
like it,
up,
then
sis
they
today?
don't need space.
There are no mistakes, just happy little accidents. It's a Bob Ross
There you
joke.
Yeah.
go.
No mistakes, just happy little accidents.
Where'd you get that shirt at? Matt's gonna want one.
We were just talking about him today
I
at work. Some
no,
happy little
yeah.
trees. Yeah.
He's the spirit animal. He is. I think I got it. I think I got it up there at like TJ Maxx for like It's sad though. The company that like owns his image and likeness they're evil. But anyway, Bob Ross is cool.
Yeah, yeah.
He never
Well,
hurt nobody.
yeah.
But no,
Look at
like
that
this
shirt,
that's kind
Bob.
of like goes into that. Like there's no mistakes. There's no mistakes. It's just happy little accidents. We just learn from them, right? And then we go on. Because a mistake is what? An opportunity to learn. That's what it is. It's what
Yep, life
that's
lesson. It's a lesson.
life lessons. Life lessons. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Keep them coming.
All right,
Ask
I've been
me
dying to ask
anything.
you this question the whole episode. So, um, in your active addiction or in early recovery, like, were you more afraid of living or dying?
Um, okay. So very afraid of dying while I was in active addiction. Very afraid of dying when I was in active addiction. Um, because I mean, I just like like paralysis fear, like what I mean. Like it sometimes was gripping, um, gripping fear. Now, fear to be alive. I sometimes I have fear to thrive, not to be alive. Fear to
Ooh,
thrive. Fear to thrive.
yeah,
I think that's what yeah.
growth.
I still suffer with like that I'm not worthy of all these unimaginable great blessings, you know what I mean? Like, and I still struggle with putting restraints on God and what he can do if I just get out of the way. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
because I keep my hands in the pot too often. You know what I mean? God's like, get out of the kitchen, get out. I'm cooking. You know what I mean? But I've always been. I'm an only child, so I'm like, I got to be in there doing stuff, and God's always. It's always like it turns out better when you just leave it alone. And so yeah, afraid to thrive, which not as much, man. This has been the best couple of days. Like I've had a renaissance I guess, in the last couple of days, like a way I've been thinking, because it's so negative and so, it just, I don't know, like, and you know what, getting out of self, because I had all that time off work, right? And getting out of self and getting out and going around our people and being with people and helping people has been like turning the lights on in my head. You know what I mean? Like turning the lights on in my heart, because literally when I mean, I needed that time in the darkness. Obviously, I must have needed it, but like, man, there's nothing like being out and getting out and doing stuff and being around people and to lift my spirits, because in isolation, man, I was drowning, and I forced myself into isolation in a way, like, like I need to like wrestle with this, like, and and like you said a minute ago, that's a them problem. Like that I was struggling with that, and
Yeah.
so it's a them problem. I'm not afraid to. I'm not afraid to die now. You know what? I told you I was watching all these near-death experience videos, and every single one of them, people were talking about like their family members, they're meeting them, and it's going to be a reunion, and you're going to get to meet Jesus. And I believe I believe with all my heart, like God's brought me this far. He's going to take me all the way. I believe that. I believe I'll get to live a full life, and I believe that I'll get to experience my kids grow up, and I believe I believe, and I wouldn't have this belief if I didn't have sobriety for sure, because I would have no give. But like, I feel like, as we're not promised tomorrow, but like I can see myself, like, and I accept death now. Like I do accept it. I understand that, like, we're here for a while and then we're gone. Like, what are you going to do with that time? What are you going to do with it? Man, how much of it did I waste? I wasted so much time, never going to get that back. But
No, absolutely
man,
not.
but so much cool stuff ahead. There's still so much stuff to look forward to. Yes, there is all kinds of cool stuff to look forward to.
Yes. And 90% of you can plan, and the other 10% of it's a surprise.
That just happens.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's the great thing about life, is like you never know what's going to happen, good or bad. It's just how we handle it is what's important at the end of the day.
Yes,
But
that's correct.
hey, you got your whole life, the rest of your whole life ahead of you. To make amends with yourself and to work through all these things. Man, emotions suck, depression sucks, it all sucks. But you're
It's
you're
not worth
getting
getting
through it
high
right
over.
now.
Not worth getting high
It is
over. It's
not.
not. It's not worth. No, not
Every
worth that. Like
I'll say,
I
like,
was.
and I know Heather and you probably do too, some kipology, like every problem has a solution. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And that it's true. Like, like I'm a problem solver. If something starts happening with me, I'm like, okay, who's helping
Yeah.
me today? You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what can I do, right, to get myself through this? Or, or I got to figure it out. Like, he knows. I'm like, man, something's going on with me. I got to figure this out. But every
That's
problem does
great.
have a solution. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's the problem solver and I'm the overthinker.
That's how our house is, man. Don't. Yeah. That's how our house is. I'm the overthinker and logical thinker and trying to like. And Heather's like, nope. It will. She always is the one that's like manages like the make things happen, and thank God for that,
Yeah.
because that's not my.
Yeah.
Thank God for that, because I'm not that.
I live by
I'm not
worst
that.
case scenarios, Zach. Worst case scenarios. I play worst case scenarios out every day, every second of my day. I already know. I'm like, oh, is this a good idea? Worst case scenario, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
I play it all the way through every time. And I know it gets on people's nerves sometimes. They're like, oh my God, here go with the worst case scenarios. Well, those worst
Yeah.
case scenarios kept your ass from going in a ditch now, didn't it?
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
yeah,
But no,
that's right.
you listen. Just keep keeping on, man, and don't give up. Listen, you come too far. You're a fighter. You know,
You know
hey,
what? Oh,
life has
so
knocked you down how many times? Think about that.
this is so God's really laid it on my heart heavy. So you know, Heather and I have Promote Hope, which we've never really got off the ground, right? We never really
Yeah.
Heather tried to build it, and I didn't try as much as she did to help build it, right? And but now, like, I'm at a place like I want us to be able to do that. I want us to be able to have this nonprofit, to have grants so we can help people in our community that need the help. And I feel like that I can do that. I have the strength, the
Yeah.
knowledge, the wisdom, the power, and the people to be able to do that. You know what I mean? And and partner up and let's make this a better place. Like, let's actually do it, not just talk about doing it, and
Yes.
not
Yeah.
just
Stop
talk
talking
about
about it.
doing
Be
it
about it.
and start
I
doing
like
it,
that.
make it a better
Promote
place.
hope.
So, Promote Hope, and it's the hope is spelled with a three at the end, for the Father,
Okay.
Son, and the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Hmm.
Yep, yep. So that's what we're gonna
Amen.
do. We're gonna
Jesus'
promote
name.
hope, and that's something we're gonna try to. I'm gonna have for next year. That's my goal. That's my goal, is to have that, like, really like a thing. Like, we're doing stuff. We're taking in donations. We're giving out. That's my goal,
So,
because
what's the
God's
con?
blessed
Like,
me.
what is it going to be like an event, or is it going to be like,
No, not just an event. It's gonna be no. It's
or
gonna
like
be an
a
organization.
whole
It's gonna be an
business? Okay,
organization.
I got you.
I'm gonna make it. I want it to make it to where we have people. I'm I've got some big ideas. Let's put it that way. I've
Good.
got some really big ideas about things that we can do, and um, I'm going to. And I have a good friend, a mutual friend of ours that knows how to write some grants and helps with grants. And I've got you
Yes,
know,
she does.
yeah, and so just gonna do it. You've heard that statement 1,000 times. We're just gonna do
Yes,
it,
just do
and
it.
so
Just
we're
do
just
it.
gonna do it, because like God has told me in this in this like wilderness that I've been in, because I've been in the wilderness for like the last 40 days, literally for the last 40 days I've
Yeah.
been in the wilderness, and I'm coming out of the wilderness, with this like new vision on life. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I had to be in the wilderness to receive the vision. I had to go, I had to be in that state. I had to be hungry. I had to be, you know what I mean? I had to be thirsty. I had to be desperate
Mm.
to lately to really want to live, like what you're talking about, live, to want to live, and so now I'm like, you know what, Heather started that in good faith, and wanted to, and you know what, I'm gonna make sure that she gets that, because she deserves that, because her heart is so big, and between her heart and my head, hopefully we can put some things together.
Well, I believe in both you guys for sure. And you know what? I'm excited for it. And if you guys got Shannon, listen, if she got an idea, she will help you bring it to life. I promise you that. That woman has been in my corner every step of the way, cheering me on. And she may even have little pom poms in the background. You know what I mean? I just didn't
For
see them.
real,
But
for real.
if anything I would hit her with today, she'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. You know what I mean? She would help. So yeah,
Yeah.
reach out.
she
She would
she has the
definitely.
most she has the most inspiring wisdom that I've ever heard in recovery. This is the most inspiring wisdom ever. She told Heather to tell me, stop pooping on the blessing. Stop pooping on the blessing.
That sounds like her. Shout out to Shanna. Oh, Shanna, let's stop pooping on
Yeah.
the. Take
I
anything away
mean,
from the
I'll never
blood.
forget
Stop
that.
pooping on the blood.
Stop pooping on the
Yeah,
blessing. I mean, it's real
yeah.
simple. Stop pooping on it. God gives you a
Oh,
present, you don't throw it in trash, I don't
yeah,
know. Like, so that's, that's a big thing I want to do for next year. Like, I just, I, I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm finally, I know that, like, I don't know so do you guys have this where, like, because you've got several years in, did you hit like a complacency stage, like where you were like, felt like you were like,
absolutely.
yeah, me
Yeah.
too. Me too. Like super complacent. Like things are all right. They're going pretty good, and you
And they
know,
may be going too good. Time to
yeah.
stir it up a little bit.
It's
Yeah,
time to
you
stir it
have.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, stir it up a little bit. And so
My
yeah, try.
problem is
That's listening.
my problem is like things will be going good, but in my head I'll be like, well, they should be doing better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like kind of like you
Yeah,
were talking about earlier. Like I should be further along than what I am right now. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like
Well,
I still.
that's the enemy, Matthew. I mean, that's the so you know that tries to that and then and then
No,
that paralyzes us. It paralyzes us. You know, then you get into then you get
yeah.
like oh shucks and nope. The best thing is to keep it moving and dag on it
Yeah.
and shake it off and as Taylor Swift would say, and keep going, shake it off. And you know,
Shake it
overthinker.
off.
I'm an overthinker. I'm a chronic procrastinator, overthinker, and all those things. And it's taught me a lot. It's taught me that uh, I should be a lot quicker to reach out for help.
Mm,
A lot quicker to reach out for help because like I'll get
that guilt and
in
shame
my head.
sometimes, though, to
I
get you.
know. Yeah, yeah.
Stops you
That whole
right on the
yeah.
forehead. Yep.
Yeah. Oh God. Yes. I mean, you're talking about like being an overthinker. I mean, and we're doing amazing. Hey, I know somebody right now who is living in in a camper without electricity or water or anything. You know what I mean? And I'm only one decision away from that being me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm
That's
super
real life
grateful.
right there. Yep.
Yes.
We are
Got a home to
very
go home
grateful.
to. Got a
Family, kids.
Yeah, life is good. It's, perspective. It's, I have to remember not to compare myself to like other people because I still do that.
Mm,
Like what other people like, especially like their big accomplishments in recovery or
ooh,
and, somebody that's got like a degree that like, I would like to have that degree, but like and I put in work towards a degree and like I realized that man it's not for me. I'm just not school based. Like I can't do it. At that time I just couldn't do it. And so I was very jealous, you know what I mean? Got jealous people, just belittling myself because obviously I'm not good enough to be able to, but it doesn't matter. I feel like that I have to be okay with like being Zach. Like
ooh.
I can't be
Yeah.
XYZ, fill in the name. I can't be them. Like I'm not them. Even though they're amazing people and there are a lot of attributes that I like, but I'm not them. Like I'm me. And that's I gotta realize that's the truth and be
Yep.
grateful for it. Be a
Yep.
grateful
Zach's got to
Zach
be Zach and find his own way.
and find his own way. Yeah. You know. Lost little boy, you know what I mean? Like I was an only child, so I grew up in addiction, alcoholism as a real young kid, it was what we knew and I was against it. I was against it until I wasn't, I stayed pretty
Yeah.
strong. I think I made it to like the ripe age of 13 or 14 before I really started drinking
Yeah.
heavy, you know, which is I guess that's not too bad. But it was bad because it's just your environment, man. And like, so that's why we have little kids. It's so important for us to have like an environment that's like, so that they don't, because monkey see, monkey do. And if you're not
Yes.
taught any different,
Yes.
you're not going to do any different. And so it's real important to have our house like be a house of love and a house of like, a house of
Yeah.
like where you're going to get dinner, where there's food,
Yeah.
there's food in the
Always
house and
food and
stuff.
dinner at his house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Heather said, I'm grateful for the Zach we have in the here and right now.
Yeah. Well, she's been really patient with me in the last little bit, so that's been not
Takes a strong person.
overlooked. She's been very patient with me because I've been very stubborn, very stubborn. I've that's that what Canaba was talking about when I was like 6 months clean, stubborn, like stop, pull your head out of your butt, you know what I mean? But occasionally I have that, I have like, I don't know what itis it is, but it's the one where you stick your head up your ass. Like I have that problem and I do that. And, it takes sometimes somebody has to come along and pull me out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do
Yeah,
that from time to time.
that's kind of how Knable like helped me with my pride issues. He was like, "When you gonna stop being so damn selfish and let people help you?" And I was like, "Well, how
Mm.
the hell is that selfish?" He's like, "Well, if someone's basically giving themselves to you and letting themselves be vulnerable, and you're denying that, how is that not selfish?" I was like, "Oh, you motherfucker!"
I know it. I know it. I hate them moments when you gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they
Hate,
get you.
hate it.
They're
Yeah.
like, damn,
Gotcha.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got me.
Yeah. You got me on that one, boss. But the cool thing is that, I get to take those lessons and pass them along.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you still can. Today, tomorrow, the day after, you know, just don't hide from, the rest of the world and share how you're feeling because I promise you that there's somebody out there that's going to help you or on the same level as you are right now. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
get
Oh,
it.
yeah. No doubt. No doubt. I'm sure there's plenty of people that's like, that are, by all accounts looking like everything's all right, but like everything's not all right. You know what I mean? Like
Not
everything's not
here.
all right.
Not here. It can be
Not
around
here.
you, but internally
Yeah.
it's not, you know what I
Right.
mean? Right there.
Exactly. And so that's, that's been what I've been working on is that loving Zach part because it's like, uh, you know, it, it becomes, as a man too, like, what I mean, I feel like there's an expectation to be able to do all,
Hmm.
above and
Yeah,
beyond.
absolutely.
And, when I don't feel like I'm meeting that expectation, like I don't take it out on necessarily anybody else but me, but then that does take it out on other people because I'm
Yep.
like not my best self, and then they get that person and that guy sucks, and you know nobody wants them in their house, like, so I gotta stop that crap. Like that's why I said I'm not far from perfect. Like I'm, I don't know what I meant by that, but like, it's obviously no one's perfect. But like I don't know, like I've been going through so much, but maybe that makes it right for it to be on here, because
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, like honestly, if you would have asked me even 2 days sooner, I would have told you no. I'd have been like, no, no, no. But God knows, God has perfect timing. And like he knew I needed reached out to too, and honestly, having this to look forward to has helped pull me out of it too. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's made me introspective and it's made me think like about myself and like make sure I'm like, like present, present.
Yeah.
Try to be present. Not stuck in my
Well,
head.
I think you need to look at it from the side too. Like earlier, you made the comment that you really don't feel like you have anything to offer anybody right now, right? But what Pages from Rock Bottom is all about is real life, real shit. So I know early in my recovery, like I had this expectation that okay, I'm not doing dope anymore. Everything in life is going to be great. You know what I mean? But that's not the case. Like life is nonstop. We just learn how to deal with it in healthy ways, and sometimes we still struggle at that.
Hmm.
So for someone to see and hear everything you're going through right now, but you still have the strength to come on here and be vulnerable, and that's spreading hope in itself, man.
It's inspiring.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I mean, trust and believe. Whew, it has been rough. Like I said, I isolated myself for basically a month. Didn't work. I used all my PTO, took bereavement, everything, every which way I could to hide from the world. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and man, all that was doing was killing me, and I didn't even realize it so much until I stopped at the first person's house to visit them, and they were smiling and happy to see me, and like, and it was like poof, like that, like it was crazy, but like poof, like that, I felt better, and like I just need to make sure that I don't lose that. I need to keep that in the front of my brain, because sometimes I'll get like that, where I'll get like whatever you call that, like, you know, like I'll just step back from the things and the peoples and stuff, and that's when I always
When
am
it
in my
starts
head. And
healthy solitude, that's what I would call it.
yeah, and that's whenever the bad stuff starts cooking.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
You and your other self start talking.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? And you start battling with each other. You know what I mean? Like I still do it on a daily basis, but like, listen, me and that bitches, I win. You know what I'm saying? She tells me all about myself. I tell her about herself. But listen, in the end, I win. You know what I mean? But I'm also locked inside of a cage. You know what I'm saying? In my own little, because I work from home and I don't talk to people. You know what I mean? I'm
Oh,
constantly on a computer. I don't interact with anybody. And you know, and I'm a people person. I love talking.
yeah, you are. I
And
was gonna say, like, yeah, I can't even believe you just said that. I didn't know you working from home and stuff now.
but I have
Oh,
to find ways to, you know, help me. Like, you know,
well,
I
this is
have
a
a
great way to
team
do
that
it.
I work with. Huh?
This is a great way to do it. You're doing it.
Yeah. And yeah, and I come up with this, and I'm like, man, this is a way for me to connect with people and to talk to people. And you know, there it is again, like every problem has a solution, right? So but this here helps us too, like being able to talk to, you know, you guys and hear your guys' stories. And you know, and it just helps me internally because I don't get to talk to people, and I do just sit and talk in front of a computer all day and type up progress reports and send them to the courts. You know what I mean? Or, you know, have
Yeah,
meetings, but that's not like, hey, how you doing, Kim? It's like,
that's not
hey,
personal,
what
dude.
can we fix on the report? You know what I mean? Like, what can we do better? But you know, but I get
Yeah,
it. So like, try not to isolate. Like, get out, connect with people, and you know, broaden your horizon a little bit. Just because you're not okay doesn't mean that there's not somebody out there or something that can help you.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And you know, Heather's been tugging at me, tugging at me, tugging at me, to be more willing, right, to do that. And um, I think that this whole season of my life thing is just something. This is something I had to go through. Come out stronger the other end. You know what I mean? No, hey, you know this, man. Anytime you go through like a heavy workout, like, you know what I mean, you're sore and you're just like, oh, I'm beat and I whip, but then you're stronger for it if you keep doing it. You
Yeah.
know, you just keep doing it, you get stronger. And so that's what I got to do, is keep doing it and build on that, because like I had let myself tank. You know what I mean? I let myself go in the tank. My just all the nonsense caught up to me. You know, it was all nonsense too. Really, it's just, you know, worrying about stuff that God's already got. You know, if he brought me through all those other storms, no reason for me to wake him up on this one. It's fine. You know,
He's still
but
carrying you through this one. So
yeah, still carrying me through
don't
this
forget
storm.
that. Don't forget that. It's
Yes.
just a little bump in the road, and it's how you choose to get back up is what's important.
Yeah, and then getting back up, and like I said, getting out and being around people in the last couple of days has been amazing. It's been amazing. It's been really good. Not that my family doesn't count, but it's like my family can be right there, and if I'm like locked in my head, like it's like they might as well be across the country. You know
Yep,
what I mean? Like, so I got to be able to be present. Got to be able to be present. And
for sure.
that's my biggest takeaway from like all of this, is like, be present, be present, be present. And if you're present in the present, the future will take care of itself.
Mm,
I like that.
that's true. That is
Yeah.
true. We appreciate you, Zach. Thanks for
You're
sharing your
welcome.
story with us. Um,
Thank you for having
so anyways, I
on.
want this to.
Do what?
Okay, so this says if you can still breathe, you can still begin. You can still begin. Grace doesn't ask where you've been, only where you're willing to go now.
Mm, right. That's like Father lead me. Yeah. Spirit lead me when my faith is, but yeah, it's like, yeah, it's what it needs to be, like childlike, like Spirit lead me. I like
And then
that. Thank you.
one
Grace.
more. I'll read
Yes.
this one to you.
Give them to me.
You're welcome. It says your past may explain you, but it does not define you. Grace gives you the chance to write the ending differently.
Amen.
Those are your
Amen.
two quotes at the end of your segment today.
Well, I like them a
And
lot
don't forget,
because if
we're
it
here
wasn't,
too. We're just a message away. Don't ever, you know what I mean? Don't ever forget that. Like me or Matt, like you can have, phone numbers, whatever it is that you need. Like we're here, you know what I mean?
I
Like
won't. Well,
reach out to
Matt,
us.
send me your number, Matt. Send it to me in the
Send me
chat.
your number.
You got me. Yeah, you can send
Yeah.
me your number.
And
I'll text you. Thank you guys very much, and you're
you're
doing a good
welcome. Thank
thing.
you.
You're doing a great thing, and just so anybody that doesn't know, like I can testify to how far you've came, Kim. Like it's so amazing to see. Like honestly, like I mean,
Thank you.
serve a pretty mighty God. You know, nobody would have thought that you would be sitting here on that side of this phone either doing this. Like but
Yeah.
God.
Me neither. Me neither, Zach. Me neither. I never
Yeah,
thought I would even make it this far. I thought I'd either die of overdose or by the hand of a crazy man. You know what I mean? It was
sure.
always
Sounds like
something. Something.
the hand of a crazy man. Yep, that probably sounds just like Heather.
Yeah.
One of the just like her. Yeah, yeah. Well, you guys been doing all that crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Getting people all angry and can't be
Yeah.
doing that.
Well,
Lord, we moved a little different today. Thank God.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
Well,
guys
we
very
appreciate
much.
you, Zach, for sharing your story, for coming on and having the courage and allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to share your story with the whole Facebook world. You know what I mean?
I know
And
it's out
I
there.
know, yeah, and I know you've inspired me, whether you believe that or not, but you have. And I know you've inspired somebody else too. So don't give up, Zach. We're here. Get
I,
his
I,
number. You guys chit chat. You know what I mean? And we're always here if you ever need us.
for sure. I'm in Waverly almost every day, so I'm
Me,
sure I can.
we
Sure,
are
I can visit
too.
and stuff.
Every day.
Yeah, I'm in Waverly almost every day. Nothing
Yeah.
but love.
All right.
Matt,
You have
send
a
your
good
number.
evening.
We
God bless
Thank you
appreciate
you.
you,
guys.
And we
man.
appreciate you. Bye,
Appreciate you.
Zach.
Bye.